Welcome, everyone. I'm Betsy Jacks, Executive Director of the Thomas Cole National Historic Site. Can you all hear me okay and everywhere in the room? Okay, great. Well, welcome to the 13th annual Raymond Beecher Lecture. And for those of you, actually, how many of you knew Raymond Beecher? Yeah. So, sorry to say there are fewer hands each year, but he was a very extraordinary man. He dedicated his life to preserving the history of Greene County and also led the charge to save the Thomas Cole National Historic Site at a time when it was not at all certain that it would be saved. It takes a strong leader to pull things like that off. I was so thrilled when Ned accepted our invitation to speak today, be our 2018 speaker, because I have immense admiration for Ned and for the organization that he has so capably led. I think if you think back over Scenic Hudson's work over the last 55 years, think of all the short-sighted, destructive, and really unfortunate things that could have happened. And I think it's not an exaggeration to say that this valley would be unrecognizable without Scenic Hudson, and possibly not a place that all of us would want to live. So we really owe them an enormous debt of gratitude. And in addition to stopping horrible things, they're one of the most proactive organizations, and they bring about great things. A couple things like that are happening right here in our beautiful Catskill neighborhood. One of them is very visible right now because we have a maze of cones and trucks and dirt and gravel. And what's happening is that a place that nobody noticed as they were whizzing through at 55 miles an hour is being transformed into a beautiful contemplative place where we can pause and really appreciate the beauty that's all around us here. And several people have, lots of different organizations have come together to partner on this. Municipalities, we have a number of our colleagues from Olana here today. Sean Sawyer, the president of the Yellow Partnership, is here. And Tara Sullivan from the Bridge Authority is here. And Greene County, Columbia County, all these organizations and municipalities are all on the same page to bring about the Hudson River Skywalk. Which will finally connect these two historic sites physically that have been connected historically for almost 200 years. So the other amazing thing that's happening is that right along Catskill Creek, which is just down the hill from here, a beautiful stretch of land has been preserved and now is open to the public. And this is one of Thomas Cole's favorite haunts, as he called it. And next year we're going to have an exhibition at the Thomas Cole Historic Site that's dedicated to Thomas Cole's paintings of that beautiful place, Catskill Creek. So Scenic Hudson has recently acquired it and made it into a beautiful preserve for all of us to enjoy. So those are just two wonderful things that they have spearheaded in our region. And Ned is one of those extraordinarily effective people that you wish you could clone and put in charge of everything in Washington. Because he brings people together with different viewpoints and different ways of seeing things and finds common ground that we can all agree on and move forward. President of Scenic Hudson since 1999, Ned Sullivan has directed the organization through a period of dramatic growth, preserving the Hudson Valley's natural assets, revitalizing its waterfronts. Through his leadership, he has been responsible for preserving nearly 20,000 acres of open space and farmland throughout the valley, turning contaminated waterfronts into beautiful public parks. In addition, Ned continues to spearhead Scenic Hudson's collaborative efforts to secure a comprehensive PCV cleanup of the Hudson River. They're involved in so many efforts in our whole region. Previously, Ned served as Maine's Environmental Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner of New York's Department of Environmental Conservation. He earned a BA from Williams College and master's degrees from Yale University's School of Management and School of Forestry and Environmental Studies. He resides in Red Hook with his wife, Tara, who's Deputy Executive Director of the New York State Bridge Authority. So it's my great pleasure to welcome Ned. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, Betsy, for that warm introduction and for your stellar leadership of the Thomas Cole National Historic Site. It's a great honor for me to be here today as the Raymond Beecher Lecturer, and it's because of leaders like Raymond Beecher and Betsy that we can have a conversation on a beautiful fall afternoon in the town of Catskill under the heading of Still in Eden. We also have many others, some in the room today, to thank for that. Lisa Fox Martin, my wife Tara, my board chair Kristen Gamble, who by the way is celebrating her birthday tomorrow, so let's hear it for Kristen. Is Lisa here? I'm so sorry. Is Lisa here? Okay, very good. It's wonderful that citizens throughout the valley have worked to preserve the seats of our great artists, Cedar Grove and Olana. And people throughout the valley have worked to combat the threats, as Betsy was saying, for over 55 years. And Thomas Cole has been said by many to be the first environmentalist. Before the conservation movement, before national parks were established, Thomas Cole was creating his beautiful artwork, but also speaking out through his essays. In 1836, in his essay on American scenery, he warned that the ravages of the Industrial Revolution were destroying landscapes with a wantonness and barbarism scarcely credible in a civilized nation. And he concluded that nature has spread for us a rich and delightful banquet. Shall we turn from it? We are still in Eden. The wall that shuts us out of the garden is our own ignorance and folly. So that was almost 200 years ago. And I think his words ring true today. Today we face threats from climate change, from sea level rise, an administration in Washington that is turning its back on the environment, and the perennial threats to the Hudson that we all have to come together as a community to fight. So David Schuyler, a renowned historian, recently published a book called Embattled River, and he chronicles those 55 years of fights that citizens have come together as a community to resist. And it's started with fight to protect Storm King Mountain in the Hudson Highlands. Believe it or not, there was a proposal for a nuclear power plant just a few miles from here in Cementon. There was Athens Gen that we worked together to mitigate the impacts of, and then the coal-fired cement plant St. Lawrence proposed in the city of Hudson. So those battles have brought us together as a community, working to preserve the incredible landscapes that we have. And Thomas Cole inspired many of these, and he inspired the founding of Scenic Hudson that came together to fight a proposed power plant on Storm King Mountain. This is what it would have looked like. And it was a 17-year battle. Fortunately, the mountain has been preserved. And today, people enjoy this as a hiking trail. But Thomas Cole had painted that in 1825, Storm King of the Hudson. Here is a panel from one of our park kiosks down in Beacon, where you get beautiful views of the mountain, also painted by Samuel Coleman. And that could have been desecrated. But our founders came together and fought for 17 years to ensure that it wouldn't be turned into a power plant. And in the second year of the battle, the courts ruled that our founders had legal standing to be in court, represent the environment, represent the broader public. And that created a legal precedent that is known in the law books as the Scenic Hudson decision that became the foundation of the National Environmental Policy Act, this country's seminal environmental law. So that gave citizens, you and me, the right to stand up and be heard on any proposal affecting the environment, to file comments, formal comments, and government has to listen. That didn't exist back in 1963 when this battle was successfully fought. So in the 1990s, Scenic Hudson joined forces with our friends at Olana. And I'm pleased that our collaborators, Sean and Mark and others, are here from Olana because we began an effort to protect the views from Olana. And to date, we have protected with our colleagues at Columbia Land Conservancy and the Open Space Institute some 2,000 acres of the views that contribute to the beauty that you see from Olana. And we're now talking to Betsy about the views that you see from the porch at Thomas Cole House, so there's more to come. And in the years since then, and many of these you see here in the various shades of green, these are areas that surround Olana, protect those beautiful views, and allow today's Hudson River School painters to continue to carry on that tradition of capturing those beautiful landscapes. And it was actually the Scenic Hudson's battle to protect Storm King Mountain that our founder, Franny Reese, she assembled a collection of paintings in a book called The Hudson River and Its Painters. It was a book that was curated by John Howitt, who is the curator of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And it helped raise, the book was published, helped raise funds for the campaign, but it also aroused great interest in the work of Thomas Cole and Frederic Church and the other Hudson River School painters who we still revere today. So we felt that it was important at Scenic Hudson to protect these beautiful landscapes in the Edens that we all enjoy in this part of the world, but also to go into the cities of the Hudson Valley and to make those great places to live and work and great places for young people to learn about the Hudson and their role as stewards. So starting down in Yonkers in the mid-'80s and moving up the river, we have protected many of the areas in our urban centers that today are the Edens for those who live in those urban areas. This is a parking lot in downtown Yonkers that once covered the Sawmill River. And today, thanks to our collaboration with the City of Yonkers, New York State, other groups, Groundwork, Hudson Valley, this is now the very same place. The parking lot is gone, and this urban park invites people into an Eden in downtown Yonkers. In Tarrytown, a former asphalt plant has been removed after being on the Hudson for 70 years. And instead, we have a beautiful public esplanade looking out on what was the Tappan Zee Bridge, now the Mario Cuomo Bridge. In Peekskill, a former industrial site has been cleaned up and now is Scenic Hudson Park at Peekskill. It's a beautiful place to launch boats. There's sculpture. There's a competition to select sculptures that are displayed in the park. And this is the southern gateway to the Hudson Highlands. And then finally, in Beacon, this former industrial site had these bulk storage facilities. There's a junkyard here when we purchased it, and now it is this beautiful public park. Right next to this is Dia Beacon, and we collaborate in art exhibits here and in the curation of a sculpture on the waterfront that looks down at Storm King Mountain as painted by Thomas Cole. So that brings me to Skywalk. It's beautifully introduced by Betsy. And what a fitting way to build on the collaboration that Betsy and Hudson Talbot and Sean and Mark and others have developed between the Thomas Cole National Historic Site and Olana. Their collaboration, I think, creates the platform for other groups to come together, Tara working at the Bridge Authority, Greene County, and others, and Scenic Hudson, to bring together the institutions and bring people together to enjoy them. This mile-long bridge, the Rip Van Winkle, has been beautifully improved by the Bridge Authority. The sidewalk has been upgraded. It now includes bump outs with views of the Catskills. You can set up a easel there, take photographs of the Catskills, look up and down the river, enjoy those views that Thomas Cole and Frederic Church brought to life. As Betsy pointed out, there's going to be a roundabout here, and a walkway is under construction right now that will go to a carriage road up to Olana from the north. So this recognizes and builds on what one leading expert has said, that the bond between Thomas Cole and Frederic Church is one of the most interesting and important relationships in the history of American art. And so people will be able to walk from the Thomas Cole house down to the bridge and walk across the bridge and up to Olana. And Scenic Hudson is working to protect these lands and to create a continuous walkway across the bridge and up to the city of Hudson and to the town of Catskill. So, as Betsy mentioned, we have had the opportunity to work with the Land Trust and with Daniel Arshak to preserve this property, this land, where you can literally walk into a Thomas Cole painting. This is Catskill Creek, painted some 10 times by Thomas Cole. And this is a view of the land that Scenic Hudson has protected that is now Mawignac Preserve, named after the Native American name for a place where two rivers come together. So Tara and I just took a walk there a few weeks ago and enjoyed the views that Thomas Cole captured on canvas. You can also kayak there from the village of Catskill. So I think these examples illustrate how people throughout the Hudson Valley have come together time and time again, creating a community that is committed to preserving and carrying on the legacy of Thomas Cole. We've demonstrated that we can fight the traditional threats and often win. We do that because we're inspired by the beauty of the landscape and its spiritual power. We're united by a shared commitment to preserving that legacy, to working together across institutions, among citizens, and making sure that everyone shares in the benefits, that it's not just the rural areas, but it is our urban centers that are benefiting as well. And we're also, I think, united by a sense of a shared identity. The people up here are equally benefited by the beautiful preserves that we were creating along the Hudson, all the way down to Yonkers and down to New York City. And I think we have an opportunity here to create a model to demonstrate that when people come together, inspired by the landscape, inspired by the artists of our region, that we can create wonderful places to live, work, and play, wonderful centers to educate our young people, engage them, and to demonstrate to the world that the Hudson Valley is going to be a beacon for all to follow. The stakes are higher than ever, and so I think it's crucial that we build on our successes and fight the biggest threats that have ever come, climate change, the hostility of Washington, and build on our collective commitment to mitigate the impacts of climate change and to make our communities more resilient. I'm confident that with the track record, with the leadership of people like Betsy, Lisa Fox Martin, and others, that we're going to be able to ensure that the Eden that we all have the privilege to enjoy and relish each day is shared by future generations, by our children and our grandchildren. Thank you very much.